now tuned in to the tap in. We talking again. Yeah. Welcome to the podcast. Might talk a little shit, get a little brash. Might drink a little bit, smoke a little bit. Vibe a little bit, laugh a little bit. Yeah. Hosted by Fidel. Tell it like it is, only tell it real. Live every Tuesday, you know the deal. We talking again. You now tuned in to
this is Fidel Daniel Jr. I forgot my name already because of the beers.
That's, you know, it's good.
Los Guerreros have good beers. But this is Talking Again podcast, and I'm here with film director Luis Iga, the director of Murder in the Woods, also the director of a short film that I got to see this morning called Alive. Let's start with Alive.
Oh my God, you're gonna make me cry.
That was a good movie, man. I was like, I want to see more of this. I want to see a 2 hour or hour and 45 minutes of this movie.
It's just because
I want to see some of the stuff that I didn't get to see. It was so short.
So Pepito Games. Pepito, you better repost this shit.
Yeah, that's the actor, right?
Yeah, Pepe Games. Yeah.
Gabriel.
So
In the
Gabriel.
film,
Yeah.
in the
So
film.
Pepe, I met Pepe, I don't know, probably 2016. We just finished editing, or not editing, but we finished shooting this, and soon after that, I was shooting. I was literally, we had a day break, and I met with Pepe in Quai del Castillo.
Oh yeah. Wait, is she still accepted in Mexico because of the whole?
Yeah, because the other president is gone. Yeah, so she's been able to go back.
She's okay.
Yeah, she's good.
Okay.
She's good. But so I'm like, we're like 5 days into this, and we have a day break. And my friend Miguel Orozco, who is an attorney, immigration attorney, so he does a lot of the, a lot of this, celebrity stuff. He's like, oh, because the domestic violence movie,
Right.
I was still pushing for that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, you got to do it tonight. I'm like no sleep.
Yeah.
Because we're shooting this movie like from
15 days.
15 days, but from 6 a.m. till 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 6:30
12 hours. 12 hours a day.
It's 12 and a half. So the film, the California labor law and SAG and all that is so you get to shoot 12 hours, but you can have half hour for lunch.
Wait, so independent, you guys still have to follow SAG rules in independent film?
Yeah, because it's a SAG film.
Oh, okay.
All the actors are SAG, so we actually had to sign the consignatory to SAG and everything.
Yeah.
So the only union that we have in this movie is SAG.
Okay.
We don't have the other ones because we're like low budget independent. We could not afford the rest of the unions.
Right. Yeah.
Let's put it this way: at the end of the day, each movie, which again, if you're a studio movie, you have money. It's not a lot of money, but independent movies, if you bring all the unions on board, you end up paying about 14% in royalties.
Oh wow.
But that's from the top.
Yeah.
Right. So if your movie makes $100, you gotta give $14 to all the unions,
Mm-hmm.
and then the remaining is gonna be to pay the investors. And first you have to pay all the investors, and then the investors get a percentage on top of that. And then after all that's paid off, then you get to make $1.
If you make $1.
If you make $1,
Yeah.
right? So that's why, it's hard to get all the unions involved.
Yeah.
I love unions because they protect actors, they protect their members, they got health benefits. So I like unions because their purpose is great. It's
Mm-hmm.
about, giving some stability to you're investing your time, you're getting paid for it, but then there's a reward after
Right.
for your work. Medical benefits in this country that is super expensive. So
Are you, as a director, are you part of any union?
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Is that
part of
something
my
that you're
union.
looking? The union of Luis Iga. The Luis Iga Foundation coming soon.
me myself and myself.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I am pro in that sense.
Right.
Because,
Okay.
especially when you have the money to do it, it's like, yeah, I'm all about sharing the wealth, man.
Yeah.
But again, when you're independent and when you're like barely scrapping to make something happen,
Yeah.
And again, a lot of people think that we have a lot of money because of the way I make look, the smoke and mirrors that I put in the way things look because of my expertise in design and because I have 25 years of experience of graphic design and multimedia and brand identity, brand creation, marketing. So everything I do looks bigger.
Yeah.
Than what
This
it
does
is.
not look like an independent film.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't, right?
Yeah.
It looks like the trailers, like everything. I have a great trailer editor that helped me with this. And then, but then I grab it and then I put all the graphics and I put all the, I put the cherry on the top in many ways.
Yeah, right.
And that some things I recut a little bit. I always like to use, like I told you, right? So the stories get written 3 times. Is the writing, the directing, and then the editing.
Post-production,
Yeah, the editing. And I always like an editor that has no connection to the project to edit. Be in a commercial, be a music video, whatever it is.
There's no favoritism or anything like that.
No, it's just like, and I don't like them to read the script. Just like look at the footage and go home with it. Like, because a lot of times, remember, like collaboration makes things better. So it's like they can bring in things that you're like, oh shit, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that could, so it's the same when with the actors, when you're rehearsing, it's like you thought you were going to shoot a certain way. And then, this actor comes with this, performance. Oh my God, you know what? Now you better this. And it's crazy, man. That's what I love. The discovery of how things just become better and better and better with a collaboration. So that's why, I always have like the movie, Ryan edited the movie first. And then obviously, again, we had a lot of money. So then once we like reached a certain point, when he, got it to where, where he could get it, then I took it over and then I re-edited some things and we tested different things. And
so you still have full control of the editing after he does his part. You can still go in there.
It's an independent movie, man. They're my investors. I brought like 97% of the investment to it, right? And the investors, again, they didn't even read the script. They like invested in me. Like they're like, they never read the script.
But they invested in the talent, though. Just like we were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah. So and they, so that's where it's it's an independent film. It's you start learning. It's also my first feature film, right? So I did shorts at USC, but coming from that world is, when you have somebody that didn't read the script and had faith in you, right? It's betting on you, like going to Vegas and be like, okay, I'm gonna bet on you, 7 red or whatever. So then you have a lot of weight on your shoulders,
right?
Because if other people work in the movie, right? And people got paid to work in the movie. Some did. Some like got some payment and deferred part of it. But at the end of the day, the most, a lot of it, what they brought was their time, which is very valuable. But I brought time and the money,
right?
And I have to pay that money back, right? So it's like, it's a lot of weight. And
that's still a work in progress, right?
Yeah,
paying that money back, right?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, remember, the distributors and the exhibitors, like everybody makes money first.
Yeah.
But the filmmaker, I mean, so it's so I mean, we can give you like a distribution course.
the quick breakdown. No.
A quick breakdown of distribution, but it's like, I mean, it's like first, obviously, right? So the channel, whatever, Amazon or whoever, they take their cut off the top, right?
Right.
And then the aggregator, the person that puts it there, gets another cut, and then you finally get. But then
cut after cut after cut, that you finally get a little nugget at the end.
Yeah, if you find it.
If you get, right.
So I mean, but again, trust me, man. People, I think most filmmakers don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they wouldn't do it.
It's a passion.
It's passion.
How much of a passion project is this, Murder in the Woods, for you?
I mean, I've been working on this for 6 years, man. So you tell me.
As your childhood, though, when you grew up watching horror films, right? Some as a teenager, Tarantino, Robert Rodriguez,
El Santo.
El Santo. Oh wow! I mean, who can forget those Mexican films? And so, I mean, he must have done hundreds of those movies.
Oh yeah, there's 50. No, there's 50. What?
Talk about low budget though, right? Like how many?
Yeah, no,
how many did he
He
make?
started like super low. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's 50. Gabriela is gonna kill me.
Do you know the number?
Yeah,
There? Oh,
it's 50. She's gonna kill me because I know the number, but I can't remember. It's like 55, 57. Gabriela, tell me. Gabriela is his wife, El Hijo del Santo.
oh, okay.
She's a good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it's so funny how I got introduced to him to another friend, and then we were working on developing some projects, so hopefully working together. Nothing has stick yet, but they're still really
That's awesome.
friends.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So I grew up watching El Santo, and then I met El Santo. So it was really cool to.
Wait, you said you made?
To meet.
Oh, you made. I
Yeah,
thought you said you made. I'm like, wait, you made a film? Okay. That you made. Yeah.
That's what I want to make.
No, yeah, because that would be
Yeah.
pretty awesome to see him back in the screen. You know.
Yeah. No, yeah, especially El Hijo del Santo, El Santo Junior. So they're great. They're awesome. They're awesome people.
Mm-hmm.
So Gabriela, she's a great producer too, and wife and mother and running the business. Like she's great.
Yeah.
So that I grew up watching those, and then I grew up in Mexico, and we had cable, but back then the cable was in English.
It wasn't.
It was in
Oh,
English.
it was in English.
Like they didn't have a lot of Spanish in cable. I'm talking cable.
Okay.
So I had to watch. So I watched television in English. So that's how I actually learned a lot of the English that I know. Is because I watched like Saved by the Bell, and I watched like
Oh, cool.
Friends, and I watched all these shows,
All the good stuff. Family Matters. All the good ones.
all this stuff,
Yeah.
right? And a lot of the movies that I love were slashers, and I love the Scream. I Know What You Last Summer. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Hills Have Eyes, Gothica. What else? And then the freaking movie that I really love is Saw, man.
Saw?
Saw.
That one's. You know why? Because
No, just one location. That whole. again, I was. This is
this
one
that
location.
was that was kind of like it's a little bit to throwback to that.
The way he did it, I was like, boom. I was like, so creative.
Yeah,
So
it leaves you to your own demise, kind of
Yeah.
like you do your own.
So for me, that was a big inspiration too. Like, it's just, it's one of those movies, one of those ideas. I'm like, damn, I wish I had that idea. It's one of those that like,
Yeah.
I wish.
When I first saw it, I was like, wow, this movie is so good. Like, you can never do this again. He did 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
5 Saw movies.
Yeah.
And they were all of them were
No,
pretty
we're good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all good, So, I mean, yeah.
So he's super talented.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the writer and the director are super, super talented. I saw them speak at USC. One time they were there with Jason Blumhouse, and it was great. I mean, Jason is also a great producer that's done a lot of horror. And I mean, again, this is kind of like, that's like Jason started was doing low budget horror, and then, he ended up like Paranormal Activity was his first big boom. So
Yeah. That that was going to be one of my comparisons was Paranormal Activity as far as like an independent type of film, low budget film. With this one is nothing like a Paranormal Activity as far as the shaky cam, and I know that was an innovation.
That's supposed to be like Paranormal Activity is supposed to be like is happening right now,
Right,
It's
like a real behind the scenes camera.
Yeah, like what's the name of that?
Blair Witch, like Blair Witch, yeah.
Blair Witch Project, like real is happening right
Right.
now. Versus this, which is a movie. It's obviously from the get go. It's not real. It's fiction. It's a movie. It's not like those horror movies that make it seem that you're in reality. It's actually happening right now, right? So, because I always like more the fictional side of things.
Yeah.
So
The slasher type films, like
yeah,
like
and
we're
I love
talking
slashers.
about the homage. Is it homage or homage?
Homage, I think.
Homage?
I don't know, homage.
I don't know, man. I've only been here all my life. I don't know how to speak English, But
At least I have an excuse. It's my second language.
But I know I really dig the movie. I think, like I was telling you earlier, I think this is like a cult classic to me. To be honest with you, because I've seen it 3 times. The 3 times that every single time that I watch it, I'll always find something new. Where at the end I know what's going on. I already know what happened, but then I watch it again. I'm like, oh, and I get that moment, right?
Yeah, then you get things that happen and why they happen.
And so every time I watch it, it's like if I'm watching it for the first time again. Where I think I can't wait to watch it again. Like I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna watch it live again too because I really enjoyed it. But well,
No, we can talk about. I mean, yeah, let's talk about it live. I mean, live is so like I was talking about that, right? So I meet So Miguel is like, we have to meet Kate tonight. So you can pitch her the idea. So I pitched the idea to Kate. She liked it. And then for other reasons that I tell off the record, it didn't get made.
Yeah.
Um,
You guys would love to know that, right?
Yeah, exactly. We would love to know that. But so then I meet Pepe. Pepe's with Kate, and they're good friends. They worked in a soap opera together. Dueños del Paraíso. They worked together. They became good friends. And Pepe's a super cool guy. He's from a small town in Mexico, so he's like me. I'm from a bigger city.
Yeah.
But I'm also like small town mentality. And then we ended up becoming good friends, and he's very passionate. He's a great actor. Because they teach you how to act in Mexico a certain way, but he seek the best acting coaches here in LA, and he's a great actor. He's very passionate. He puts, like me, 1,000% into everything he does. And he was like bugging. I was super busy with other stuff. He was like bugging me, dude. I have this idea. Help me. Let's do this. Come on. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let's do it. So he had this idea of something that happened to him, and when he told me, it's like something similar happened to me. Right? It's like when you come here from Mexico with a completely different background, mindset on how relationships work with women and how things are.
Yeah.
And then like you fall in love with a girl here, and it's like you hit your head against the wall.
Yeah.
Because things are so different.
Right.
Relationships, the power dynamic with male, female, and everything. It's just so different. It's so funny because it's only like an imaginary line, dividing these two countries.
Yeah.
But culturally, it's huge.
Right.
So he told me the story. I was like, I was like, something very similar happened to me in the way I felt for this girl. And then when things didn't work out, it just destroyed me.
Yeah.
So, because, we're very passionate. We're very like, my parents were together all their life. My mom's still alive. My father passed away, but, they were together until my father passed, 41 years, I believe, 42 years. So it's very important, again, I'm a man of my word. If I told these investors, I'm going to make this, I'm going to, 6 years later, I'm still on it. A lot of people will give up.
Right.
So that's what I'm here, right? I told you I was going to be here, even though I don't know you. I just met you that one time. You were cool. And I was like, I told you I was going to be here. I'm like, if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
That's super cool.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people, I'll see you later. Yeah. And then
they never hear from them again. Yeah.
So for me, it's very important if I tell you something, I'm going to do it.
Right.
My word is my bond. So anyway, so Pepe, so then we wrote the story together. I helped him with the structure because he's an actor. He's really good with dialogue.
Yeah.
And he also does not only, he also does stand up, hosting events and things like that.
emceeing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to MC exactly. Yeah. So you have to be very, very good with your words.
Vibrant. Boom, quick.
On your feet. Yeah. So he's really good writing dialogue. So we put our heads together.
Yeah.
And we came up with a live. It was his idea, his story. Then I helped him make it, write it, and then we shot it. Like again, just like a couple of weekends, just friends. And it was a proof of concept. We the goal is to make a feature film of it, but it was about that. It was about the relationship. What happens when, you take things more seriously, more, and again, and the difference in culture, right? So funny because we have a review from like this obviously very liberal woman
for a live.
Okay. And he like kills us, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he's trying to, again,
he's imposing it. I mean, I think we could tell about talk about the story, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, so Alive is about a guy that he comes to LA for a meeting. So English is his second language. His parents are in Mexico. And, he's doing the share right thing. Right. And he sees this girl that's coming in. And he he's
smitten by her.
He's like, you see this beautiful, Samantha, she's gorgeous, right? Yeah. So she this beautiful girl, just like, he like gets out of the car, opens the door. It's like, very Mexican, right?
Very chivalry.
Very chivalry. Like, that's what we do. It's like, it's like in Mexico, if a woman gets off the
Caballero.
Table, you get up. If a woman, if you're like, let's say a bunch of friends, right? And one of the girls is going to go to the bathroom. She stands up. All the guys stand up.
Yeah.
And then when she's coming, they stand back again so they can see. So it's very chivalry, very old school, right? So So he gets out of the car.
Well, something very subtle was that I picked up, and then we'll get back to the car thing. But is when they're walking on the street and he walks on the side by the sidewalk. That's something that I was taught when I was a kid.
Yeah,
like when you're walking with a woman or a female, you walk on this side because you're not pimp. My mom said you que no eres un padrote. You know, like
no la estás vendiendo.
No la estás vendiendo, right?
Yeah,
so that's exactly what I related to. But like, again, so she gets out of the car, he helps her out, to get in the car.
Yeah.
And
so I mean, and then she ends up being pregnant, but not by him, right?
Right.
In the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's okay with it, right? Because he committed. He really likes her. He's like, I'll help you, but she wants to have an abortion.
Right.
And again, coming from a Catholic country is not a good thing.
Right.
And, and then you see that, what? It's my decision, right? So it's when the mentality is different, right? Which is different cultures. I'm not against it or for it.
Yeah.
It's just something that, somebody has a
situational
thing that
right.
Some people think a certain way, and but that's what we wanted to showcase, the difference in mentality and how hard it is when you don't realize the different how important the cultural background of your partner means for important decisions in a relationship, right? Because at the beginning everything's bells and whistles and everything's great,
of course,
but when
the honeymoon stage,
but when you're really gonna get tested, it's when in the really bad times,
right?
That's when you're gonna know if you're gonna make it or break it. And my parents went through a lot of really bad times, right? But they stuck together, and that's what actually makes you stronger as a bond. Even in friendships, I think my best friends are the ones that one day we're about to beat each other up, right? And we had like really huge disagreements, and then we ended up bonding over that disagreement, and
probably made you closer, tighter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, like, one of is my best friend, like, so that's what really creates relationships, is everybody's cool in the good times or in the semi good times or in the like, okay, I got scratched. But when you're really gonna bond and find the people that are gonna get you back no matter what, take a bullet for you, is in the really, really, really bad times.
Yeah. So
that's what this story is about, the cultural difference of that situation, of relationships. But so Pepe and I, we want to, our goal is to make the feature.
Yeah.
But again, going back to that comment, is like she hated it, right? Because what is he thinking, telling her what to do? She's
because he walks in and he stops the abortion. The next scene, he's with his baby.
Right?
So
it's like,
I get it.
I get it. Yeah. As a woman from this country, you're like, and for me, for example, as a woman from this country, they're more liberal, more independent. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Right. It's just the way you're brought up. Is your culture, is what it is. So for me, for example, in Mexico, if a girl breaks up with you, you chase her. You chase.
Right.
You chase. Right? Here in America.
Serenatas y todo. Everything.
It's like, if a girl breaks up with you, you want her back, you beg her, you go, la serenata, please take me back. Right?
Right, yeah.
Here, they'll pull a restraint on you.
Right? Yeah, right away.
Right?
I mean, I don't know from personal experience. But,
I don't know either. But again, so when my first like serious girlfriend like breaks up with me, I'm like going, like doing all the things I think I should be doing.
Yeah.
And then she thought I was crazy.
Right.
And a psychopath and everything. And then I'm like, and then now I get it. Now it's like, okay. And it's all cultural and things. So now here's like somebody breaks up. Okay, whatever. Move on. It is what it is. If she wants you back, and if it's meant to be, it will be, type of thing. And that's it. But But in the Latino culture is very like, it's very passionate. So you chase it, you beg. And women in Mexico actually like that, because it's like, you know what, this guy really wants me. The guy, we're here. They're like, oh, he's a psychopath. What's he thinking? Yeah. So it's like, the mentality is also different.
Do you think that's changing? Because I know that's within times change. Because I know that here in the United States, it was the same thing. You hear stories from back in the day of your grandparents or other people's grandparents where they fought for the one that they loved and all that good stuff. You think it's changing in Mexico too? I know that Mexico's a little bit behind, with the United States, but
I don't think so. At the core, I don't think so. I mean, yes, women are more liberal,
a lot more liberal,
independent. But again, it depends where. Mexico City, Monterrey, Guadalajara, which is like 3 cities, man. The rest of Mexico is not that big.
Yeah.
But still, though, even like my family members that I know that live in Guadalajara, Monterrey, like the big cities, there's still that passion, man. I think that's part of our culture. It's part of the Latino culture. It's part of it's part of the machismo, right? That comes from the Middle Easterns, because the Middle Easterns brought it to Spain, and the Spaniards brought it to Mexico, Central South America. Right? So I think that's what it is, and again, it has to do with the passion. It's like we're passionate people, and which I had to learn not to be. Right.
You gotta simmer down a little bit on the passion,
down and like, okay, yes, it's great. Great, it's great. It's so funny because I talk, we Latinos, we talk a lot with our hands. And then you're talking to like this white dude that from like Arkansas. No,
are they flinching? Like,
no, but I'm like talking. They're like looking at my hand. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like going like this, and they're like. And then I'm like, okay, keep it here, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can't move my hands.
Put your hands in your pocket. I mean, I talk with my hands all the time. I don't know if you notice when I'm talking, I'm always like, it's just, I guess it's a culture thing. I never thought about it like that, but yeah, that's that's how we.
It's amazing when people start like following my hands. I just die.
I never noticed that, but I think I'm gonna have to start paying attention to see what they're looking at, if they are.
You always have to look, man. You always have to look at what people are I mean, for me as a director, I mean, I'm always analyzing behavior, right? So we're psychologists. I mean, directors really you're studying a lot of human behavior, because where your goal is to recreate reality, right? And what way, how can you create reality? Is not if you've lived it or the actors have lived it, and you have like a compass, a truth compass and a reality compass of situations that could happen because that have happened to you, or the actors, or when the actors do it, let's say it hasn't happened to you, but when the actors do it, you believe it. Because it looks real, it looks legitimate. So I think that's and that's what I love about this business is the collaboration, is getting the space in the actors and the obstacles that become, and just how let's say that chair, let's say the scene starts and that chair is there, and how just by me moving the chair over there, this whole dynamic of the scene is going to change, right? It's just how the goals are going to change, and it's fun to when you're working with actors, because acting is reacting. So a lot of times you'll go give a note to an actor in the ear because you don't want the other actor to hear. Right. So
you want to get that natural reaction
so you can get the natural, you can get the so it's a lot of fun. I mean, one of my professors was Barnett Kellman and Mary Lou Belly and Peter Robertson, and directing. Who else did I have for directing? They were awesome. Who else? Oh my God, he directed an awesome movie. Spacing two of my favorite. The alcohol, I guess.
It is. Everything's all alcohol infused here.
Yeah, right. No, but
it's called the tap for a reason.
For a reason, exactly. So yeah, so they, I had great professors at USC that did it professionally, and some of them were still in the industry. So it was, it was. I learned,
Was that undergrad in UConn or here at the USC?
Grad at USC.
Grad at USC.
Yeah, undergrad I did fine arts and design. Mm-hmm. So I love using my hands. So I love like printmaking, and I love sculpture and building stuff. Growing up, I used to build models. Like those little models that you buy and glue them together, and then
like trucks, cars, whatever, or
planes. I love planes a lot, and I would blow them up with my, in Mexico you get fireworks. So I would just, that's how I got into movie making, because I love the whole Star Wars make believe, how they made all these. They were models. Right. They were models, and they reshoot them, the miniatures, and stop motion animation, and so that's what I got into. That's what I liked about filmmaking, was about making those little models, because I love making models, and also creating these worlds that don't exist. So Star Wars for me, George Lucas was what got me into that world of like make believe and how can make this happen. So I started, and I love action. I love like stuff blowing up. So I would go buy fireworks at the corner store in Mexico when I was like 5-7 years old. They'll sell you anything. At that time, things have changed now, but at the time, I mean, I would go buy cigarettes for my father, and they would sell them to me.
M80s, M80s, M1000s, whatever, right?
Yeah. I would go and like my father's like, here's 20 pesos, go get me cigarettes, and I would bring him a pack of cigarettes and like keep the change.
That was like that here too, though. I mean, I remember 85, 86 growing up here. We could still go buy single cigarettes at a liquor store.
Really?
Yeah. 84, 85. I remember all that stuff. I mean, I wasn't that
as a 7-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like teenagers, we'd be able to walk in and just get yourself a cigarette, like singles.
Funny.
But I mean, I guess maybe certain cigarettes, depending on where you live, El Monte, Covina, but the hood of Covina,
But yeah, my father had a camera, so I would record this stuff and I would like blow stuff up.
Yeah.
Then I would just watch it, but then I had to delete it because my parents didn't know I was doing this.
Yeah.
So I have to like
watch it once, remove.
Yeah. So I would like watch it, whatever, and like delete, and then put the camera exactly how it was, and I was like very meticulous how everything looked before I grabbed, so then I could put it exactly the same.
Not like nowadays where you could just take a picture and go back to the picture.
Exactly. No, you need to remember. Yeah. That's what people are dumber now, man. It's like
I don't know who I was talking. Oh, I was watching Driscoll Kid. He was doing a live with somebody on Instagram, and they were talking about that, and it's just like, the phones and tablets, like we don't use our brain anymore. No, it's hard for us to retain it.
I used to, growing up, I used to know everybody's number here.
Yeah.
Everybody's number.
It was a Rolodex right here.
Yeah. Everybody's number. And now it's like, I don't even know my number. I know my number, but barely.
Yeah. I know mine and my wife's. That's it.
Yeah. It's like, it's the thing is like, the only numbers I know by heart are my number and my mom's, like my home in Mexico.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't know my mom's cell phone.
But that's probably because it hasn't changed in 25 or 40 years.
Exactly.
Right?
Since I was a kid. Yeah. Right. So I grew up with that number. So, but my sister's cell phone number, I know my sister's home numbers. I don't know my brother's cell phone. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know anybody's.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's just,
if we get how do you call it? From the sun and all the power goes out.
Forget about it. What is it? Meteor shower? But they call it a meteor.
Impulse.
Oh, yeah.
It's called.
I forget.
But anyway, so
we're screwed. We're all screwed.
I'm screwed, man.
All of us are. I mean, we're done.
We're done. Like, at least I'll be able to call home.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's the most important call, anyways. Yeah.
But other than that, I'm done. I don't remember.
It's funny. You mentioned Star Wars and George Lucas. I wrote that down here. I don't know if you noticed when I was writing something down. I wrote Star Wars, George Lucas right here. And the reason why, because when you were saying that you had an investor that invested in you because they invested in the talent, I think just like George Lucas, I think some of his first films were like that, where they invested in him. You want to do Star Wars? Okay, we'll invest in you. And then progressively that bill went higher and higher, obviously.
But yes. A lot of people were worried about Star Wars, but it was at different times where the studios invested in new talent when the studios were not privately owned. Mm-hmm. They were not publicly traded companies. They're all about the bottom line. Now it's hard, man. You get very little. Those were the golden years. Like when you would get an executive. It's like same thing happened to. What's his name? Boys in the Hood.
Spike
Singleton.
Lee. Oh, sorry.
Was it what Singleton? Yeah, Singleton. Is that? Hold on, because the alcohol is starting to get to me. But
I was way off then.
What is what he launched? Cuba Gooding Jr. in this movie. It was Boys in the Hood, no?
I thought it was Spike Lee, but that's not. It's not Spike Lee. Spike Lee did.
Hold on. Let's. I'm telling you, man. Like our brain can't hold.
We need
anymore.
These phones, even though they consume us. We still need them. It's so much easier. I remember before we used to be able to memorize. I for memory sometimes I use the alphabet. I'll literally sit there and start reciting the alphabet.
Boys in the Hood. Yeah. I'm right. Yeah. So Boys in the Hood is John Singleton. And it was the same thing. John Singleton, he was just passed away, sadly. He was an amazing man. He died at a very young age last year. I believe it was last year or the year before.
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure to meet him. He started teaching at USC after I graduated, but I went and crashed one of his classes. And then I saw him on a set. He was shooting a movie. He was shooting a TV show. And he was... so it was the same with him. I think he just recently graduated and he had his thesis that he wrote for USC, and it was a feature, and he pitched it to an executive from a studio, and they backed him because they believed in him. And he's like, I can do it for less money. Look, I have this instead of like hiring a helicopter, we're just gonna put the camera on the roof of this building and make it seem like it's a helicopter and all these things. And he they used to bet on people that didn't have a track record back then a lot more.
And that's how you had your breakthrough directors and breakthrough writers and everything was breakthrough, right?
It was breakthrough. And again, it was studios betting on you, which now, you'll hear, like Jordan Peele, right? He struggled through many studios that told him no, until finally I think it was Blumhouse who, and Jason, saw his vision and, saw the potential, and the rest is history. But, it wasn't like before where executives, like now everybody's afraid of losing their job. So a lot of executives don't take risks because they need their health insurance, because health insurance is so expensive, because healthcare is so expensive in this. And that's sad, man. You can't, when you have all this, that you cannot lose your job because then you don't have health insurance and all these things. It's like it just restricts creativity, right? Because you can't take a shot because if you don't, again, when companies become publicly traded, they're not about the product anymore. No, they're about making literally the CEO's job is not to make a better product. It's just to make more money. Yeah,
green, all it is.
To the investors. That's his job. But that's why, I'm not a believer in publicly traded companies, because they sell out. Because again, they're not about the product. So what did they start doing? If they had a product, they start destroying the product, making it with cheaper parts, cheaper ingredients, cheaper everything, so they can make more money for their investors. Yeah. But because they have the brand and the name recognition that got in there, they're able to get away with it. Yeah. Because again, people don't think. People are like sheep. They have like, they're like robots, right? Like I said.
We're seeing that a lot right now, huh?
Oh yeah. So that's what they say. Masses, are sheep. Yeah. The 80-20 rule, right? Like 20% of the humans are carrying the other 80%. Like in a company, like a company, only 20% of the employees are actually pulling their weight. Yep. The other are just like sheep following. Yep. So it's sad because and when it comes to publicly traded companies and the studio system, they can't take risks. And I don't blame him, because again, they want to keep their job, right? Because they need the health insurance. Right. They need the benefits. Yeah. Right. So, and the only reason they would fire you is because you're not making enough money for them, because then the investors are going to get mad. Which before, when they were, privately owned, and the owners and, the Warners and the Disneys and those guys that are actually so funny, because like, for example, Disney has become what Disney fought against. You think about it. Yeah. They've sold out, so to speak. They've sold out. Not even that. Is like the way, in many ways, the way they choose what they do. It's all about money. It's all about money. Even Disney's granddaughter has spoken about it, right? So I'm probably not gonna about this. I'm probably never gonna get hired by Disney, right? So I just shut myself.
You don't want to get hired by Disney. They'll own you if you get hired by Disney.
But I wouldn't mind getting hired by Disney for a couple, and then
why not?
And with that, then I can, with those two, I'll make enough money so then I can just do whatever I want.
Dwayne, the rest of my movies. Dwayne Johnson didn't look where he's at now, right? Like, yeah. He's got his royalties and he's got all kinds of. Now he has his own production company, but like you said, they acquired Star Wars, and look what that's how much money can we make off Star Wars now. Whereas Star Wars back in the day, when you get a collective toy, an item, whatever, even just a toy is worth so much money because they didn't mass produce it. Yeah. To where now Star Wars, I mean, it's not worth a single individual thing is not worth anything anymore. With Star Wars.
It has to be the original. Yeah, the original back. Hey man, it's like George made good money with that. But I think also if you read the what's his name, the CEO that made that deal, if you read his bio and he kind of like fooled a little bit. George was originally mad, but then obviously he realized that half his payment was Disney stock, so you cannot talk bad about
yeah about your own business. Think his biggest grime was that he wanted control over what was going to be coming out from Star Wars.
And they made him again. these executives are very, they're most like, that's another thing.
Wordsmiths, and they're able to.
Yeah, I mean, they don't come from the creative world. They're usually like MBAs from Harvard, Yale. Like they're usually
attorneys, lawyers,
MBAs. They don't have a creative bone in their body. They think they do, and they never click record. They never hit record in their life. They're never so. But again, that's what they want as heads of companies. So I think George got led in some ways. If you read, I actually read an article. I didn't read his bio. What's his name? Oh my God, I forgot the name of the executive. But I read an article on how he was able to get George to, to sell him Star Wars and ILM and everybody and everything, and it seems like he tricked him in many ways. He made him seem like part of the deal was he bought George's, I think, manuscripts of the next episodes he was thinking he was going to take it. I don't know if it was this whole script or just the guidelines or the manuscript. I don't remember the article. But it was something like that, right? Don't quote me on it, but it was something like that. And so when somebody's telling you, I'm going to buy it and I'm going to buy what you wrote there. So again, as people of creativity, and we're not just businessmen out to get you, and how can I get that watch from you without you seeing? Yeah. We believe, and we're like, oh yeah, let's do it. We're naive in that sense. And then he ended up throwing those in the trash.
Yeah, he junked them.
Yeah. So he made him believe. He never said we're going to use them.
Right.
But by buying them, he made him believe that they were going to use them.
Yeah.
But no, he just threw them in the trash.
Like it's like the one that we were talking about, social media thing.
Yeah.
Not TikTok.
No.
The 6 second one. I already forgot the name of it.
Yeah.
Damn, Los Guerreros beer.
Yeah. I think they probably have like, we don't have. No, it's.
But yeah, I mean, you're definitely
the vines.
The vines. Yes, it's the same thing. But you're for sure you're definitely not gonna get hired from Disney anytime.
But we still have Universal.
Yeah.
Sony, hopefully.
Paramount, right? But this film though, it's your passion. It's your project. You've been working on it 6-7 years. If someone was to, was it 6 years? Okay. I'm trying to add more here. If someone wants to come in and just offer you,
salsa a los tacos,
el sazón.
It's been 10 years, bro.
It's been 10 years.
Like 10
10 hard years.
15 years.
50, 60-year-old man right here. Looks good for 50 or 60. Joking. So someone comes to come and offer you a studio, and we want full control over it. We're going to chop it up and we're going to make it our own. Are you going to sell it, work on another project, or you're sticking to it? This is your baby. You want to do it 100% and take it to the next level?
Depends on the amount of money.
There's always a price, huh?
I mean, it just
be honest, right? Yeah.
No, but why is there always a price? Because once you get that price, that means freedom in the sense that, you know what? Now I can make whatever I want. I can go make 20 of those.
You can create, right?
Exactly. I can create. I can go make 20 of. Yeah, they screw this one up. But then I go make 20 of these that actually matter, and I don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the only reason what I would do it. It's because I would be buying my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I can't wait to see this thing go a little higher, and I'm hoping that some way we start pushing it so that it can get out there. You said that it's going to come back to studio or theaters.
Yeah,
October it got signed, right?
Yeah.
So it's perfect for Halloween. You know,
for Halloween. Yeah, so I'm talking to a couple of theaters that want it back, and hopefully we can lock a deal and get it done.
Yeah. If there's anything that we can do on our end, can we do something like send emails, texts, call your local theater?
Call your local theater, call the drive-ins here in Southern California.
Let them know you want to see Murder in the Woods in your hometown.
The Tiki, the Rubidoux,
Vineland,
Paramount.
Yeah.
In San Diego, we were at the South. Was it South Bay? Yeah, South Bay drive-in. So yeah, just call your drive-ins. Watch the movie, buy it on Amazon, buy it on anywhere. Just support.
It's available on VOD right now as of I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
On the 18th we came out, September 18th, and we just actually came out today on iTunes.
Oh, okay.
So we're now on iTunes as well. So we're on all the big platforms. So yeah, just go buy it, support, because at the end of the day, it's show business, right? So you got to make money. You have to show Hollywood you can make money with a diverse movie with a non-stereotypical roles, because there's starting to be more diversity, right? But again, it's like you're cholo, you're cartel member, you're
Gardner. I mean, it is.
So it's like
very very.
So it's like they wanna stereotype us in a certain
stereotype.
way.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So again, we need to prove that when we're not stereotyped, when we just happen to be in situation, then you happen to be brown or black or Asian, gay, lesbian, whatever color, shape, or form, flavor, it's okay, it's fine, and also the power that he has to tell story from different point of views in an authentic way, not from a Google search.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of like lately, was it La Llorona? Come on, man, that was horrible.
I didn't watch it because I saw. I mean, remember I told you I watch the trailer, I'll read the bio and all that, and to me I was just like, nah, man, I'm not digging it. I'm sorry, man.
It was like a Google search, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I'll pass.
Yeah. So again, it's
This one's different. It still has your throwback again. We talked about it. Slasher, Latino cast.
But he have to have, again, the people behind the camera, are people that have had different experiences, that somebody growing in Iowa, that somebody growing in West Virginia, that somebody growing in Montana, in New York. We have different experiences, so our reality is different.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why it's important, and that's why it's funny, because Latinos connect with it, love it, and then some like general market people get it, like Roper, and other critics, but then others are like, oh my god, I've seen this a million times,
right?
And nothing original here, and so I'm like, duh, we're telling you, it's a throwback movie inspired by. We're just making it with different ingredients.
Different sazon.
Right? So I just, we just went like
one
this.
One of those
right?
things are here.
Like this, right? So, and we're blunt about it. We're not telling you here we have the next Oscar nominated film. No, we have a throwback. If you like the original slashers, have fun. Slashers, because they're not about being afraid. They're quirky. You're laughing, you have funny moments. They say stupid stuff.
Oh yeah.
They're young, they're doing stupid stuff. What you do when you're that age.
Yeah, beer pong, so getting high.
You do stupid stuff. You make stupid decisions.
Yep.
And you think you own the world because you have the biggest balls when you're like 18, 20 years old.
Oh, yeah.
You think that the world's in your hands because you got into college.
Right.
Or you're a graduate of high school and you're like, oh yeah, the whole world's mine. I know everything now. Right, so
that's exactly what it is.
So that's what they, that's how they act, and that's what it is, right? It's not, I'm not going here for an Oscar.
No, I mean, and then going back to it though, the Latino part of it is like I was able to relate to a lot of the stories, like your grandma telling you about scary things, right? Like the Day of the Dead and stuff like that. The altar, they're like, asustan, and they're like, and that's how it was with me. My mom, grandma telling you scary shit like that, like
if you go out after 10,
oh yeah,
La Llorona te va a llevar, cabrón. Entonces quédate aquí.
Right? Exactly. That's exactly yeah.
So they did it, and all the stories have a moraleja, right? They all have a little, they learn something from them, right? And los duendes, y si te va, if you go too far, like that's how they, when you go into the mall, right? You don't want to get lost. You don't want to lose your kids, right? So they tell you, quédate aquí a mi lado, porque si no te va a llevar, si te vas el duende, la Llorona y el duende y el chupacabras, right? So they're always
cucuy, right? Everything,
So it's like it's ways that they keep kids in check, right? With these stories, and you're a kid, you're so gullible, you believe anything, right?
In my case, it was don't eat bananas after 6, but that's a whole nother story. We'll get into that, and we'll get into that off air,
off the record.
But no, man, I just want to thank you, dude, for coming on. It was fun having this conversation.
Thank you.
This episode is nothing like our tap room edition that we had, so you guys can watch both. It'll be great.
Yeah, watch us.
But Murder in the Woods. Murder in the Woods, you guys. Luis Iga. Thanks a lot. Talking Again podcast. This is Fidel Avenal Jr. Luis Iga.
And amazing beer.
Amazing beer.
Live every Tuesday,
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it.
Talking again, we talking again. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. You now tuned in to the tap in. We talking again, we talking again. Come on. We're live.